Stop it! Stop it with all the news! Oh my god! There's so much news to talk about this week. So yeah, okay, it's movie news with the fish. Jesus Christ! If this movie news was Thunder, fuck you, Thunder. You can suck my dick. I actually didn't even plan that joke right there. I just figured I saw my shirt. I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my fuck you, Thunder shirt. Yeah, okay, that analogy works. No, movie news is great usually. So yeah, a lot has come out this week for movie news. A lot. Trailers have come out. We've gotten casting information, all that stuff. Let's just get into it. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the new Terminator Genisys trailer. Now this popped up yesterday. I want to say it was either yesterday or the day before. It was very recently, like either the day before, yesterday or the day before. One of the two, Wednesday or Thursday. And I've been seeing some things about the Terminator, and I'm one of the people who I like the first two Terminators. Third one's okay. Fourth one doesn't really need to be made at all. Whatever. And I'm hearing this, Genisys. Okay, they put the Y in whatever. Like J.K. Simmons in there. Okay, that rocks. Then you see like the Entertainment or Empire covers. I'm like, eh. And hearing the explanation of why old Arnie can be old Arnie, I'm like, okay. And then the trailer drops. I'm like, okay, how bad or good is this trailer? And I sat down and watched the trailer. My reaction was, that's a pretty good-looking movie right now, just from the trailer alone. It's a pretty solid-looking film. It seems to be kind of like in the vein of what Abrams has done with the Star Trek movies as of late, where it's the same universe we know, but it's kind of a different reality. Basically, it's resetting the timeline. Basically, it's basically an alternate take on the universe we originally knew, because the trailer literally shows old Arnie and literally the legit footage of young Arnie from the first Terminator when he first shows up as the Terminator, and they see old Arnie with a shotgun walking up. I've been waiting for you. Just blowing his younger self away, or his alternate younger self away. So. I'm just trying to get. Apparently, Kyle Reese, played by Jai Courtney, goes. It's the same thing as before. Go to protect my mother, all that. Knock her up, and you're my dad, Kyle Reese. That's not mentioned, but still. Which makes me. Oh, actually, that makes me wonder. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, and he goes to save her. Except then the Terminator that's chasing them is not Arnie. It's a T-1000 Terminator who looks like an Asian Robert Patrick. It looks a lot like Robert Patrick if you were Chinese or Korean. One of the two. I think actually it might have been Korean. Still though, it's still a T-1000. It's not something you fuck with. And then it gets hit by a truck, and we see Sarah Connor is like, "Come with me if you want to live now, soldier." I like the fact the line's in there because that's like classic Terminator line right there. But the way that came off was cheesy. It was. However, Arnold saying "I'll be back." I'll eat that up any fucking day of the week. I'll be back. So yeah, and apparently there was the Arnie Terminator that got sent. I'm calling him Arnie just because it's Arnie. It's the Arnold Terminator that got sent to kill Sarah Connor. And then there's a Terminator that was sent years before that to protect Sarah Connor, actually bring her up to speed, and now she's actually caught up, and her timeline's different. So now we have an aged Terminator, and they've actually explained like a concept of how he's aged, and it makes sense that the organic components of him have aged, so he blends in with society, basically. Basically, the skin and everything has aged. And basically, it's up to speed, basically trying to stop Skynet for good, which I believe they're actually saying this is the start of another Terminator trilogy or something like that. We'll see. We'll see. So, yeah. And that raises actually the question. Now, John Connors is the son of Sarah Connors and Kyle Reese. Kyle Reese goes and has sex with Sarah Connors, and, he's conceived John Connors. So Kyle Reese is, in fact, the father. In the original Terminator series. Are you gonna somehow make it plausible that this happens again, where they have sex and she gets impregnated? Because I don't know how time travel necessarily works anymore in these films. So if you don't, does John Connor still exist in an alternate reality? Or is his timeline wiped out, and therefore, if he's wiped out, Kyle Reese does not go in the past, and then, the whole paradox goes in, you get a fucking nosebleed because of the fucking aneurysm. I don't know. That's going to be fascinating to find out. And, of course, the last shot of the trailer where Arnold's just like, I'll be back. And, just skydives right through a chopper. Go! I must destroy the chopper! There was something I noticed in that scene, though, is that comparatively when we see Arnold in the beginning of the film, like near the very beginning, then again, you know what? No, actually, no. Comparatively, because I do think it's the same time frame. When he blows the other Terminator away, where he kills the other version of himself, to where we see him in the chopper, his hair grayed up a lot, like a lot. So I'm wondering, does his organic components age a far more quickly after a certain amount of time? Because his hair didn't look really that gray when he blew his younger I keep saying younger because it is technically a younger version, the alternate version of him away. It did not look that gray. Maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but I don't know. But to Terminator Genisys, I'm more than willing to give it a shot. It looks actually pretty decent right now. I'm interested to see what the role of J.K. Simmons is, because we didn't see J.K. Simmons in the trailer at all. And J.K. Simmons is one of those actors who's not going to just be attached to something just be attached to it. He's going to be attached to something because he likes the character. That's why I think that's why he was in Spider-Man, the first 3 Spider-Mans. He just had so much goddamn fun doing that role. Who wouldn't? J. Jonah Jameson's awesome. So that's all I got for Terminator Genisys. Next bit of movie news. And I got a lot to go through, so I'm going to try to be at least a little fast about this. We now have our first poster, which you can find. It's not that hard. I'm not putting any links in this description because I have there's no real warrant to put the links in when you can find it easy. But we have our first official poster, title, and some casting for the next James Bond movie. Now, the next James Bond movie, I think it's the 24th or 25th Bond at this point. I can't be certain. Or maybe it's 20. Crap. It's 25th, I think. It's titled Spectre, which anyone who's a fan of James Bond in the least knows what Spectre is. Spectre is the terrorist organization that has been featured heavily, predominantly, throughout the entire Bond series. Up until I think the Timothy Dalton Bonds, really. Yeah, in fact, I don't ever recall the Spectre being mentioned in the Timothy Dalton Bonds, the Pierce Brosnan Bonds, and up until now, not the Daniel Craig Bonds. Spectre was never once mentioned in those. It was always mentioned in the more classic campy Bonds. I'll say classic in terms of Sean Connery, campy with Roger Moore. But Spectre was actually prevalent in all those Bonds, in some shape or form. Yeah, so actually, now that I think about it, and I'm sidetracking here, I have to take that back about the Roger Moore ones. I can think of one time where there's Live and Let Die. Spectre's not in there. There's a Moonraker. Spectre's not in there. Pretty sure Spectre's not in there. There's Spy Who Loved Me. Spectre's not in there. There's For Your Eyes Only. Spectre's not in there. There is View to a Kill. Spectre's not in there. There is Octopussy and the Man with the Golden Gun. Spectre's Spectre's actually only in the Sean Connery movies. I never, as big a fan of Bonds I am, it never actually occurred to me on that. I take it back one little bit. I think Blofeld makes an appearance in one of the Bond movies. I might actually be Live and Let Die, where Bond basically kills Blofeld because Blofeld's confined to a wheelchair or something like that, and he dumps him in a fucking chute. Anyway, so Spectre. It's obviously a reference to Spectre. Even the poster, which is basically Spectre, it's kind of sliced words. Got a bullet hole through the which part of Spectre? I'm just looking at the spelling of Spectre. I think it was through the C in Spectre. I could be wrong on that though. And basically the bullet hole looks kind of like the octopus symbol for Spectre and all that stuff. So there's that. So we're possibly getting Spectre, and the plot apparently is Bond's trying to unravel the mysteries of Spectre, and while M is basically trying to fight a political battle to keep MI6 going. And apparently there's hidden truths. Probably Spectre is either maybe a branch off of MI6, or Spectre's been in MI6 the whole time, something like that. But it's now confirmed that we have Dave Bautista. First off, is going to probably, I believe, one of the henchmen of the bad guys, the main bad guy. I think is Mr. Hanks. I like Dave Bautista. He's a fun actor. He's not the greatest actor in the world, and he knows he's not the greatest actor in the world, and I like that about the guy. He's very humble about himself. He's appreciative of where he is, and I like actors who can really just be like, you know what, I'm okay. I know what I am. I like where I am. I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. I like actors who do that. But you know, he's playing the henchman. I believe, I don't know if I'm getting the name out. I wrote this down in markers. I wrote it down, but I wrote it down in markers, so I didn't write it down very legibly. Obenhauser, I want to say the name is. It's been confirmed that Christoph Waltz is our villain. His name is Obenhauser, or Mr. or Dr. Obenhauser, something like that. And yeah, it's great. Christoph Waltz is a 2-time Academy Award winner, so both time for Tarantino films was a Bond villain. Because as I mentioned in a previous review, it is a different type of villain role. You've got to have that right level of menacing charm and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, as an actor, I'm sure he has that. I am sure he does. But the thing is that when I look at him in Inglourious Basterds, I do not quite see his I don't think his name is Hans. I can't remember exactly what his name is. The Inglourious Basterds villain he plays, I don't quite see a Bond villain there. Now, because I just don't think he's quite got that level of menacing. But it'll be a good. He's got that suave playfulness that a Bond villain should have. But yeah, see, a good example would be Javier Bardem as Mr. Silver. I can't remember the character's name, but they called him Mr. Silver. He had the charm. He's a talented actor. He had the deviousness, and he was scary. He was not. He's scared. He was scary. He was not a guy you wanted to come across. Whereas, I'm going to call him Hans right now because I think that might have been the name. I could be wrong. But whereas Hans in Inglourious Basterds, he was suave, he was charming, he was devious. But when Brad Pitt headbutts him in the fucking face, that's not a Bond villain. A Bond villain does not just be like, oh, my head, oh my nose, oh, it's okay. No, a Bond villain would not. The head Bond villain would not be like that kind of, not bumbling, but not that kind of wacky. He would not be that kind of wacky, I don't think. Personally, I believe anyway. So yeah, so I look forward to seeing what he can do as a Bond villain. So there's that. And now we got a lot of casting to go through because there was a lot of casting announced in the last couple of days. So I'm just gonna go down the list, and I'll go by the most recent ones because it'll go by quick. It's been now confirmed by Marvel that we have our Doctor Strange. None other than Benedict Cumberbatch, who was in talks for a little bit, finalizing his talks, will be our Doctor Strange for the foreseeable future. And I'm completely okay with that. It would have been interesting to see what Joaquin Phoenix would have brought, but he is a little odd at points. He does have some, issues with, being stuck to multi-picture deals and all that stuff, maybe the touring, a few other things. I don't know the full, thing about what happened with him, but we got Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm perfectly okay with that. Benedict Cumberbatch is a fantastic actor. If you've seen Sherlock, he's voiced Smaug. The Imitation Games are out. Saying he's getting Oscar buzz for that, which I really do need to probably try to catch Imitation Game at some point. As Star Trek Into Darkness, he was great as Khan. So I can't complain about that. And he's got that voice where you could hear him just saying wacky spells and stuff like that. By the fires of Odin's beard, something like that. I'm just by the fire pits of Surtur. He's just got that voice where you could just be like, yes, the magic exists, and he could play that kind of arrogant, sort of out there, smart guy too, with no problem. If you've seen Sherlock, you can know he can play that kind of role. And really, I'll put a beard on him and give him magic. Sherlock is kind of more of a Doctor Strange than some of his other roles, so you can really do that. Next up, Ryan Reynolds is all but now. It's not completely 100% in there, but let's say it's 95%, so it's pretty much almost a lock. He's going to be our Deadpool, folks, and we've all seen this coming. He's been the biggest advocate for the movie. God bless him for it, because it really is a great part for him. He loves the character now. We love the character. We've all wanted to see the character get his justice, especially after the bastardized version of X-Men Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, you know what? I'm completely okay with that. I'm completely okay with it. Yeah, that's what we fucking wanted. It's what we fucking wanted for our Deadpool movie, Ryan Reynolds back, because Ryan Reynolds really was the best choice for that character. So that's great to know. Finally, this is probably the one that's going to take maybe the longest to finish up, maybe past the Terminator and Spectre thing. We've got our, not the full cast obviously, but our main cast for Suicide Squad movie for DC. And they did not hold back on the A-list talent on this, folks. I'm going to just go with get one out of the way. Cara Delevingne. I think she's an actress model. So she's not a high-profile actress in A-list. She's playing an enchantress type character. She's basically the magic of the group. So yeah, that getting out of the way, I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about the character. Excuse me, I had like an itch. I don't know anything about the character she's playing, so I don't know if she's most I know is she's magic orientated, and she's both been a villain and a good guy, so she'll be on Suicide Squad. Now that out of the way, we have Tom Hardy as Rick Flag, who, from the little I know of the character, is the only non-criminal of the group. He's a military background guy, often wears this crappy orange or yellow shirt, but he's a big muscle dude. He's military oriented. He's the leader, generally speaking, of the group. So there's that. And I'm perfectly fine with Tom Hardy as that. I think that'd be great. He gets to be in 2 different DC films and not ruin any continuity. So awesome. Let's see. And then we had Jai Courtney as Boomerang. Technically, it's Captain Boomerang. Let's just go with Boomerang. I think he's just going to be called Boomerang, which is one of the dumbest DC villains ever. I got boomerangs on my suit. So yeah, there's that. Hopefully they'll do something a lot better with that. Then we got Will Smith as Deadshot. That's an interesting casting choice. Will Smith is a great actor despite his flops as of like After Earth was horrible. It was. What was the one that came out before that? I honestly can't remember the last movie he did before that. Oh no, Men in Black 3 was. I liked Men in Black 3 personally. Some people didn't, but you know. So yeah, there's Will Smith is Deadshot. I think that'd be a great guy. He's got a movie coming out called Focus, which is basically he's a con artist basically working with I think Margot Robbie actually, who's another one of the casting announced. I think it's Margot Robbie. So basically it's a con artist movie. It's Will Smith being a con artist, but it's basically Will Smith back to that movie where we remember the reason why we like Will Smith, because he's charming, he's kind of suave, he's just got that likability to him, but he could also be kind of tough at the same time. I mean, if you've seen I Am Legend and all that stuff, you know, he can play that. He's a fantastic actor. He really is. So, and he's playing Deadshot. I mean, he's in shape. I've seen the pictures of him from Focus, so he's in shape. He's not, the physicality wasn't the problem at all. And I think that's a great casting choice. And then we got Margot Robbie. Harley Quinn's announced, so we got finally getting our first interpretation on the screen of Harley Quinn. So Margot Robbie, the only thing I know her from is Wolf of Wall Street, which I still have not fully seen. I've seen parts of it though, and for the parts I've seen her in, she's great. Should be interesting. She looks like Harley Quinn, well, at least from the fan-done images they've done of her, and just from those, she looks like Harley Quinn. I'd be interested to see what the movie interpretation of her is going to be, because I want to see how she plays off of Jared Leto, who is our new Joker. And that's one where I think the internet's either, you know what, I have not heard any. Here's the amazing thing about the internet and people. I have not heard about any backlash from Jared Leto right now. Granted, it's very recent that we had his announcement. It was like Wednesday they announced it. But as of right now, I have not heard of any backlash from Jared Leto from being our new Joker. It's like, no, he can't fill. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are like, he can't fill in the shoes of Heath Ledger and all that stuff. It's like, but comparatively, when Heath Ledger got casted as the Joker, it was like rip shit. The internet was on fire. Forums had to be shut down. When Ben Affleck got cast as Batman, people were up in having a fucking bitch fit about it. But Jared Leto, just because he's an Academy Award winner, Jared Leto, you know, You know, it's cool. Yeah, let's have Jared Leto. Sure. Yeah, Jared Leto. He's the Joker. That'll be great. People are so fucking hypocritical, man. Just because, just because someone's has body work has not always been great does not mean that they are a bad performer or anything like that. You shouldn't harp on someone until you actually see the goddamn film. Judge it based on your performance, not because of what you just hear. Oh, this guy's gonna be this. He's gonna suck. He's gonna suck. He's gonna suck. And then, Heath Ledger shows just about 99% of the world that, oh my God, he was amazing. So really, I hate people who just judge based on what they hear instead of what they actually see, watch, listen to, and all that. Basically, what they experience. Experience the performance before you judge the performance. My God, come on, people. So now let's be clear. And I'm going off a little tangent here, but let's be clear. Ben Affleck could suck. Jared Leto could even suck as a Joker. I don't think either of them are going to. I think both of them are probably going to knock it out of the park. Particularly Jared Leto. Ben Affleck, I still think is going to do fabulous as Batman. But let's actually, and Gal Gadot, I'm going to, fingers crossed, and I'm going to go in there high hopes. Okay, maybe I probably shouldn't do that. I'm going to go in with the best of hopes, hoping it's going to be passable. I'm going to hope it's passable. That's what I'm hoping for Gal Gadot. But which I'll end this segment of movie news with one other small thing I found out today. But so no, that's my little thing on that. But Jared Leto, I think is going to be great, especially with the interpretation of the Joker I've seen, say in like Assault and Arkham in the Suicide Squad, where he's a bit more lankier looking guy with shorter hair and stuff like that, where he's kind of almost looks a little druggy. And I know he's not we know he's not technically a drug addict, but he looks he's a different interpretation. I think Jared Leto could really capture that kind of a Joker really well. So last bit of the movie news that kind of ties into that is that Batman v Superman wrapped up its production either yesterday or today, and they showed like a little 2-second photo of a black piece of cloth in the snow, which I guess is supposed to be interpreted. I guess some people are hinting, fans are hinting that it's a hint towards the battle between Batman and Superman near the end of the film, or midway, whatever. Show me an actual trailer for me to judge. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to talk anything about that. Because I watched it, I'm like, this doesn't mean anything to me at all. It's just a black piece of cloth wet with snow. This means nothing. So I think some fans need to, just stop and think, oh my God, it means that. It does not mean anything. Show me Batman and show me a picture of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck in their suits just standing across from each other. That will make me, it's something I will talk about. But yeah, no, that wrapped up production. So I talked a while ago about a rumor that was going around that we could get like a short Batman v Superman teaser, like maybe like a 30-second teaser, or maybe a 1-minute teaser. That's a Batman-centric teaser. And it was supposedly maybe going to be attached to The Hobbit. Now, it's not impossible. Okay. It's not impossible, given that they have wrapped up. They could put something together for The Hobbit, but I don't think it's at least not. It's not happening this year. It's just I don't think it is. Anything is possible. But I don't think it's happening. More than likely, I think we might get it. We're probably gonna get like our first actual teaser or actual trailer at Comic-Con next year. That's what I think This is what's going to happen. I'd be pleasantly surprised if I was wrong in that. We get it earlier than that, but yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with that. So I had a lot to talk about today. I really don't know how I'm going to title this thing. Whatever I title it, you'll find out how I titled it when you actually click the video. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. So next one we got is next week is Exodus, Gods and Kings. Ridley Scott's doing his take on Moses with Christian Bale and Edward. So yeah, I from what I've been seeing, it looks pretty good. I know not everyone's been happy with Ridley Scott's work as of late. Prometheus, I like Prometheus, but I do recognize that it's it has no sort of continuity to it at all, really, and it's got a lot of plot holes that make no sense. And I still did not like the characterization of Naomi Rapace at the end of that movie, so I did not like that really at all. That part, but overall, I still enjoyed the movie. It's good science fiction. It is. It's a good piece of science fiction. It just doesn't fit well into the continuity of the Alien universe, and I think that's the big problem with the movie is that there's no continuity to it at all. And I think Ridley Scott said it was technically a prequel to the prequel of Alien or something like that, but dude, people have been wanting kind of a prequel to Alien. Why did you do that? I don't know. So, yep, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for Exodus next week. Later.